Good evening. Vladimir Putin's war against Ukraine is on the verge of a disastrous stalemate. Russia's getting desperate to gain momentum, and that could mean severe death and destruction in the days and weeks to come. That's the grim assessment from a senior NATO intelligence official as the Russian invasion stalls and atrocities against civilians mount. The Pentagon says Russian forces have been ramping up bombing and shelling of cities that haven't been able to capture, including Kyiv, the capital. Ukrainian officials say a Russian strike obliterated this shopping center, killing at least 8 people. Rescue teams pulling bodies and wounded survivors out of the wreckage. And here's a photo of one of the rescuers overcome with emotion. The Pentagon says the Russians are bombarding cities more and more because they failed to achieve most of their objectives.
When you look at what they've managed to do in 26 days, it's not that impressive. They have failed to achieve a lot of their objectives on the ground. Cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, artillery fire, they're lobbing an awful lot of hardware into these cities to try to force their surrender. And
they made a demand, which Ukraine defiantly rejected. It was Russia's demand that the Ukrainians surrender the key southern port city of Mariupol. Moscow gave Ukraine the ultimatum, lay down your arms and give up this city. Then we'll allow civilians to leave safely. Ukraine responded, no. Mariupol is one of Ukraine's most devastated cities, where they're burying the dead in mass graves. And now we have a satellite image of that destroyed theater in Mariupol. It's the one where the Ukrainian officials say hundreds of people, mostly women, children, and the elderly, were taking shelter. The Russians bombed it, even though the word children was painted in Russian outside. The Ukrainians are now also accusing Russia of bombing an art school in the same city, where they say 400 innocent civilians were sheltering. In the Russian-occupied city of Kherson, Russian troops used gunfire and stun grenades to break up Ukrainian protesters. Listen here. The Russian troops in Kherson are not only facing protesters, there's also a Ukrainian counterattack over the last 48 hours. According to the Pentagon, a top NATO official tells NBC News Putin appears dug in and unwilling to admit failure, likely foreclosing the possibility he'll back down. The loss of life and damage is going to be quite severe. Neither side can win here. Neither side will capitulate. The NATO official says neither side has a superiority over the other, and that they could be in for a long, drawn-out fight. NBC's Cal Perry begins our coverage tonight in the western Ukraine city of Lviv. Cal.
Shep, this evening, a fresh address from Ukrainian President Zelensky telling people not to give up hope in these eastern cities, that they should stay and fight. He's trying to rally people to these places that we are seeing such extensive destruction. He also took time to reach out and counter some of the messages coming from Vladimir Putin, pointing to a 96-year-old man killed today in Kharkiv by Russian shelling, a man that he says survived the Nazi death camps. It is, of course, Vladimir Putin who has talked about this denazification of Ukraine. The Ukrainian president calling that absurd. He referred to the Russian soldiers as slaves, saying they don't even understand their mission. Shep, we had some recent polling here as well showing what public support there is, at least optimism that Ukraine can withstand these attacks. 91% of people here polled said they believe Ukraine will win the war. Certainly these civil defense teams that we've seen set up across the country have done a good job of stopping these oncoming Russian forces, but we are seeing that those Russian forces now, perhaps as a tactic because they are not making gains on the battlefield, now starting to indiscriminately increase that shelling of residential areas across the country, Shep.
We've heard about peace talks. Any report of progress?
No, according to the Kremlin, not enough even to have a meeting between Putin and Zelensky. Zelensky calling for these peace talks to start immediately. He's in this impossible position, Shep, where he wants to negotiate with the Russians at the very least to get a ceasefire in some of these cities. But there is this concern that he has consistently laid out that if he negotiates with the Russians and they're not negotiating in good faith, it just allows them to regroup militarily. Shep.